Canada forward.
Honourable member for Central Okanagan, Similkameen
Mr.
Nicola.
Speaker, with today's interest rate hike, more and more households will have less to pay for rising fuel and grocery costs. Other G7 countries are trying to help with skyrocketing gas prices, but this Prime Minister is making it worse. His big spending has been called inflationary by the Parliamentary Budget Officer, and his carbon tax has been called inflationary by the Governor of the Bank of Canada. Conservatives have proposed a temporary cut to the GST at the pumps to help Canadians. Will the Prime Minister finally quit his worn-out talking points and finally give the middle class and those striving to join it a break?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, as the member opposite well knows, but will not share with his constituents or any Canadians, the price on pollution actually returns more money to the average Canadian family than it costs them in the places where it's brought in. We're talking about over $1,000 a year for families in Saskatchewan and Alberta, 800 or so in Manitoba. We will continue to make sure we are supporting Canadians even as we move beyond our reliance on fossil fuels. This is something we know the world is asking for, Canadians are asking for, and we are leading on despite Conservatives.
The Honourable member for Central Okanagan, Similkameen Nicola.
Inflation is always someone else's problem to solve, except this Prime Minister. And leadership, Mr. Speaker, is everything. Germany has given $16 billion break on fuel taxes. The United States has opened up a strategic reserve. This Prime Minister has asked Canadians to forgive him for not thinking about monetary policy, but inflation is hitting them hard, and we are seeing zero leadership from this Prime Minister. Conservatives aren't asking the Prime Minister to pay for his own meals, to pay for his own gas, to pay for his own housing. Will he act today and give Canadians a break at the pumps so that they can pay for theirs?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we know this current challenges around cost of living are hitting Canadian families hard, which is why we're continuing to step up on supports for them, whether it's supports for seniors, whether it's supports for families with increases linked to inflation of the Canada Child Benefit, whether it's moving forward on historic childcare deals that are saving Canadians, families across the country, thousands of dollars this year because of reduced costs. We are going to continue to support Canadians during this difficult time because we know they need it.
Honourable member for Kelowna Lake Country.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's goal to make everything more expensive is punishing Canadians at the grocery store. My constituency survey on inflationary grocery prices had this response from a resident. When is it going to stop? How much more do you think people can afford to spend on a set income? Another said, with the cost of food now so high, they can't afford medicine anymore. When is this Prime Minister going to wake up to how his made-in-Canada inflation is putting basic necessities out of the reach of so many people?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we know that global inflation caused first by the pandemic and second by Vladimir Putin's illegal war in Ukraine is putting pressures on families, including with high gas prices. Canadians deserve support, which is what we're giving, but instead, the Conservative Party has opposed policies that put money back into Canadians' pockets. They voted against cutting taxes for the middle class. They voted against cutting childcare fees in half this year, and they voted against more support for families, for seniors, for students. They're also opposing our price on pollution, which means they're opposing giving more money to